I hit the ground. Well, I guess it's time to clear the air. So come and take a drive with me. Cause I'm trying but I can't get it down. So leave me my pillow, drowning the sound. Like a caricature of my face. For times moving so fast, slipping away. And I'm defeated but I'm not scared. Cause this is what I always do. 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 This is what I always do.
Welcome to Here's to the Rubble podcast. That was What I Always Do by Gratuitous Platypus. Amazing song. I think the first song I heard by them. Today, obviously Steve is with me again. How you doing today, Steve?
Guys? I'm doing good, man. I got no sleep last night, and I've had a really long day of work, but I'm loving it.
You listen to anything new this week?
Actually, yeah. I think everyone knows the band Taking Back Sunday, right? Like,
yeah.
I think everyone's heard like Cute Without the Cut from the Team or whatever. But I finally just went and actually listened to that album because I'd never done it before. Like, I'd heard that song before and like a couple other ones off of the album, but like, I actually just went and listened to the whole album like today. That's a good album, man. Like, Tell All Your Friends, I think is what it's called.
Yeah.
Solid.
Nice.
Yeah. What about you? What have you been listening to lately?
I've actually been listening to a lot of ASAP Rock, and ever since last week, been listening to Every Time I Die a lot.
Yeah.
Yep. They've been on heavy rotation.
That one ASAP Rock song you sent me was
Long-Legged Larry.
Yeah, Long-Legged Larry. So my avatar in Discord is like a frog. The song Long-Legged Larry, it's about like just some frog dude. So like Jalen sent it one time in the group chat and was like, yeah, this song just reminds me of Steve. Yeah. And I was like, what about this song reminds you of me? And I went and listened to the song and I was like, oh yeah, no, okay, I get it, yeah. And that song's kind of been on repeat for me lately too. It's like weirdly, like it feels like it's my anthem now. I'm like walking down the street listening to it, and I'm kind of just strutting.
It plays when you enter a room.
Yeah, exactly.
So today we're gonna talk to Stellar from Gratuitous Platypus. Stellar, how you doing tonight?
Doing great, you guys. Thanks for having me here.
Yeah, of course.
No
Thanks
problem,
for
man.
coming on.
You betcha.
Yes. So Stellar is a friend of mine from school, actually. We met like almost like 2 years ago now, because we're both bass players. And Stellar, he we were like waiting like to get into like our class or whatever, and me and him were just standing out there, and we just started talking about music and whatever and what bands we were into, and we said like a couple bands, and I was like, oh, I know that one, do you know this one? He was like, oh yeah, I love those guys or whatever. I think Days and Days was definitely one that came up, but I can't remember what the other ones were. But he mentioned yeah, right. I have my memory is terrible. Like, I know that we met 2 years ago, but I don't remember much else other than that. But I remember Stellar told me, he's like, yeah, actually, I got this band called Gratuitous Platypus. If you want to check our stuff out, it's on Spotify and this and that. And I was like, I'll check it out, I guess. And I downloaded it, and then I was walking home from school, and I just turned it on, and I started listening to it, and I was like, damn. This is awesome. Like, this is great. And I think I immediately sent it to RJ. Like, I was like, you got to check these guys out, because I knew it was like just his vibe too. I think it was the album I Don't Really Like Getting Out of Bed, But Others Manage, so I guess I can too. Is that what it's called, Stellar? I know it's something long like that.
It is. I can't remember if the album is the full name
or if that's just the song. Yeah,
or if that's just the song.
Yeah, but
I think the EP is shorter. I think it's just I Don't Really Like Getting Out of Bed, but I feel like I should probably know the names of my albums.
In your defense, that is a really long name, so like I wouldn't blame you for not knowing it. Yeah. I sent it to RJ, and he was like, "Damn, this is awesome! Like, you just like met this dude at school?" And I was like, "Yeah, man, we were just hanging out in the hallway." And then Stellar and I ended up actually becoming real friends.
Nice.
Glad you're my friend, Steve. Thank you, guys. I'm flattered.
Likewise, man. And it's good to have you here. What have you been listening to lately, Stellar?
You know, I actually listened to quite a bit this week. The record Kid A by Radiohead.
Oh,
yeah.
that's a
Nice,
great
nice.
album. Yeah.
Yeah, I've always been real familiar with Radiohead, but I've never actually dived specifically into their records. And
Oh yeah.
George, the guitarist in our band, has been harping on me for it for like 3 years. He's been like, dude, listen to Radiohead. I'm just like haven't for some reason.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Intentionally, I haven't like sat down and actually listened to their music. So
Yeah, totally.
I started with Kid A, and
That's
this
a
week
great album, dude.
move on to OK Computer and just kind of start chipping away through them.
Hell
But
yeah,
yeah,
man.
such a great record. And also this band that our drummer Tristan recommended to me a while ago. They're called Pile. And it's
Pile.
pretty
I think I've
cool.
heard him mention them too, actually.
Yeah, they're neat. It's just kind of like rock stuff, but it's a little more raw. It feels a little less produced, and it's pretty.
Okay.
I like it. I like it. They just have one record that I've been listening to,
Nice.
and I can't actually remember the name of it, but I'll pull it up real fast so
That's
I
fine.
can actually give a proper recommendation for this.
I think
this music.
I think our second episode was just like 90% of it was just us being like, man, I really love this one album. I can't remember what it's called or who
Yeah.
it's by, but it's really good. I'd tell you a name of a song off of it, but I can't remember that either. So
And it's just a good litmus test to know your friends aren't gatekeepers.
yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, sorry, the record's called Dripping by
Dripping. Okay.
Dripping by Pile.
Sick, man.
Sweet.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll definitely check that out. So something I've wanted to know for a long time, and I kind of saved it for a moment like this. How'd you guys name your band?
Oh, this is a great story, actually.
Nice.
So when we started playing together, we were kind of indecisive on a name for a while. We were knocking ideas around, and we actually settled initially on the Undergrounds. And then about a week and a half later, we made an Instagram account and tried to tag ourselves and found about 45 other bands with the same name.
Oh,
And did a quick Google search and found about 1,200 more bands with the same
Yeah.
name.
Yeah.
Not-
I can't
not
tell you
a
how many
very
times I've had that
original
happen.
So
That's
then
the
we were
hardest
like,
part.
yeah. So then we were like, man, we just have to have something that's ridiculous and out there, just something stupid, or not stupid necessarily, but just like something that'll stick and that
Yeah.
isn't really conventional. And George was kind of joking around about like the super standard indie formula of adjective animal.
yeah.
So we were like, hey, we need an adjective and an animal. And I think we decided on platypus first. Can't remember how we decided on that one, but then we needed an adjective. So George was just like, I've been reading Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy a lot this year, and I've got this big book, and this guy uses tons of wacky words all the time. I'm straight up just going to open up a random page, and the first adjective I see will go with. And then he opened up a page, and he plopped his finger down, and he's like, there you go. It's Gratuitous Platypus. And we were just kind of like, that's hilarious. Let's do it. And
Damn.
yeah.
And it stuck, man. That's a great
And
name.
it's-
yeah. It's one of the best band names I've heard, I think.
I
Well,
don't
thank
think I even knew that story.
Really?
I feel like you guys have told me that before. Maybe I was just like half cut or something, so I didn't remember. but
I could check out.
I think I remember the beginning half of it, at least, like the undergrounds or whatever. But
Right.
yeah, that's funny. I didn't realize that it was just like literally like, all right, we're gonna open a book and pick the first adjective. And Hitchhiker's Guide is a great book for that. So.
Yeah,
Oh,
definitely.
absolutely. I can't remember which one in the series it was because I think George had like a collection of like
Mhm.
five of them in one book, and he just
Yeah.
straight up opened it randomly.
And yeah, that worked out pretty well, man.
It did. It's funny, that one sticks a lot for lots of people, and even if they don't remember the whole thing, they remember the premise or the general idea. Get like
Yeah.
Gracious Platypus or the Platypus Band,
Yeah,
People
I remember that one. Who was it? It was like I forget their band name, so clearly it wasn't as good. But yeah, there was the one gig you guys
sad.
played at. Yeah, I guess no shade, but it's fine. I didn't say their name because I don't remember it, so
There you go.
it doesn't matter. But yeah, you guys played one gig at the Aviary or whatever, and the guys up before you were like, "Yeah, up next is that Platypus Band." Sorry guys, I couldn't remember what you were called.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
And then yeah, you guys went up after and like killed it.
my uncle
Well-
was in a band called House on a Spring for a while. And one time,
House
That's
on
a good
Spring.
name.
yeah, one time he
I
played
like
a
that
show and got introduced as House on a String.
Oh,
And
That's
just
pretty good too, actually.
yeah, and just the entire show, the singer after every song would be like, "Yes, we are House on a Spring, not string."
Yeah. I was
Got
like in middle school. I was in a band called Broken Talent, and one time, and one time we were introduced as Wasted Talent, and I was like, yeah, that's better.
I don't know. That
That's
kind of
more
makes me
accurate,
think
I
of,
think.
kind of makes me think of. I don't know if you guys have watched much Parks and Rec.
Oh yeah,
Yep, I
yeah,
have.
Andy and his band and the ever changing name.
yeah.
Yeah,
Mouse rat, Scarecrow boat,
Yeah.
foreskin,
Yep.
Yeah,
three skin.
yeah, that's
Yeah.
pretty good. Our first band, actually, Tristan wasn't a part of. He lived in Calgary at the time, and George and I were playing together.
Right. Yeah.
But we were playing with our buddy named Michelle, and he was like a hardcore punk rocker.
Nice.
Yeah, and he was a great dude, and we had fun. I think we wrote like one song that didn't have any lyrics. That was just a blatant ripoff of "When I Come Around" by Green Day.
Nice. Hell yeah.
Yeah, but at the time we had actually a pretty good band name. I'm proud of that one as well. We were No MSG because of Michelle, Stellar, and George, like an
That's
acronym.
Oh,
really
okay.
good, yeah.
Yep,
Yeah.
that's good.
Yeah, thought that one was pretty good too.
Um, last episode we had like a mini thing where RJ was like, "All right, guys, we'll read out like all of our like
Band
worst or
names.
best band names
Yeah.
or whatever," and I forgot that I had a bunch of them. None of them are as good as any of the ones you've said today. I don't think.
Yeah. Well, thanks,
All of my
buddy.
band names suck. That's my biggest problem. I think is like I can never name a band. Well, that's not my biggest problem, but it's definitely one.
I
I
think
think
had
that's
one
the
recently.
only problem. That's the only problem a band can truly have.
Yeah, right. Anything else, it's like, all right, well, you can fix that, but a bad name, that sticks with you.
Hmm.
Sorry, RJ, you were saying something there?
Yeah, I actually came up with one Saturday when I went to
Oh,
my
let's hear it.
uncle's house. Cheese and the sangria.
Wait, cheese in the sangria or cheese and the
In.
sangria?
And
Ugh. I mean, I don't know if I like that.
I could see it being like a surf punk band.
Okay, you know what? Yeah, I've turned around on it. I could see that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Like
You
maybe
know, I'm
like
just
a
looking-
fiddler sound.
Oh, totally. I'm just looking at the list of members of this community here for your guys'
Oh yeah,
podcast,
the
and I
Discord,
think
yeah.
I think Brandon is Stoned is actually probably a pretty decent band name as well.
Yeah, true.
I know,
true.
maybe if he was on the last episode, check
Oh,
it
right
out.
on.
Episode 3, yeah,
Yep,
3.
episode 3.
Nice.
With Brandon of Crash the Funeral,
Which
yeah,
is
if
also
they-
a great band name.
That is a
Crash
great
Funeral.
band name as well.
also great. Yeah, if I guess if Crash the Funeral ever breaks up, we can just tell him like, hey man, that ska band we were joking about starting last episode, we'll just call it Brandon is Stoned.
Brandon is Stoned. That's pretty
Yeah.
good. Yeah. Did you guys talk about our buddies from school there, Steve Safe Stacks?
No, I really should have given them a shout out. I totally forgot to.
They also
yeah,
have a pretty great band name.
yeah, Safe Sax. I think that's a really
Yeah,
solid one.
that's definitely good.
They're also great. Check out their EP "Practice Makes Perfect" on Spotify, featuring Static, who is another friend of ours, Tanner, who I'm in a couple bands with. It's really shitty though on Spotify for some reason. Some other dude has the same name as he does, like Static spelled STVTIC, and they started like after he did, but for some reason they were the ones who got tagged in the Safe Sack song. So Tanner doesn't even get credit for that one.
Damn.
Oh, that's lame.
Yeah,
Yeah,
right.
yeah, that is too bad. You
Oh,
know,
sh-
some-
Sorry, go ahead,
go
yeah.
for it. Oh,
No,
yeah.
I was just gonna say. Speaking of which, I totally forgot to mention. An EP came out of his that I played in. I don't think I mentioned it on the cast. I think I brought it up on like one of the Friday ones that it was coming out, but it is out now. Radio Noises 3, the Azul tapes by Static, STVTIC. I played bass on a couple of songs in there, Captive and Don't Ever Give Up. So I'd say check them out. I'd say check out the whole thing. It's 3 songs long, and it's really good.
I gave that one a listen, man, and it is killer. You got some pretty solid lines in there.
Thanks, man. Yeah,
Yeah,
I
totally.
had a lot of fun with it.
That's awesome.
It's not really the style that I usually play, right? So I was kind of like listening to like some like mono neon bass lines to kind of like figure it out, like because he throws some really cool stuff. If you've ever heard the song "All Bad" by Nas, Anderson .Paak, Pac or Pack,
Pac.
I'm not
whatever.
sure.
I think it's
Pac?
Pac.
I don't know.
I don't know. And Mono Neon plays the bass on that song, but that song is great. And that was one that kind of drew inspiration from because he lays some really nice lines down on that. But they're like the fills that he does are really tasteful, but they're also like wicked. But they don't overpower with the singing. The singer and the rapping is doing. So I kind of tried to do that. I don't know how successful I was, but I personally think it sounds really good. Tanner did a great job.
I think he did a great job. And pretty much everything Tanner's put out is gold. So,
dude, right? He's super talented. I don't understand. I can barely turn a computer on, and he's like a crazy producer.
You know, I'm actually super stoked. I was talking to a little while ago, and I just got all the stems back from our studio session for our album.
Oh yeah. Talk about that a little bit.
Okay.
Oh, sure. I want to tell my story quick first, and then I'll hop into that
Yeah.
new tangent. That's all good. But so the whole album, I sent it all to Tanner, and we're going to do a collaboration with him with GP. He's going to do
that's sick, dude.
That's
like a
sweet.
song. But yeah, so I don't know what he's going to do with it. I don't know if he's going to do one song or more, but I just sent him the whole thing and was like, do what you will. Let's do a collaboration. Like,
That's
find things you
awesome,
like
man.
in here. So I'm super excited to see what comes out of that. Tanner's awesome. I'm sure whatever he does will be crazy. So
Totally.
but yeah, also, and our record. I'll move on to that one as well. So throughout this past year, we've been writing a ton, and yeah, we just finished recording a couple months ago. Things are finally starting to happen. We're in the production phase now, so we have a full-length album that we're hoping to have out in the fall of this year.
Hell
Awesome.
yeah, man.
Awesome.
Yeah,
It's exciting, man.
14 new songs. We're super stoked, and it's a bit of a tone shift from our older work.
Yeah.
still
It's
pretty
interesting.
Yeah, still pretty similar to it's still us. I think
Exactly.
we're quite proud of it and pretty excited about it. Steve's
You
heard
should
so
be,
much
man.
of it.
Yeah.
Thank you. Steve's heard all of it many times. He
Yeah.
he lived with us through this year of lockdown, so he's heard us
Yes,
play these
yeah.
songs probably more
Through
times than
the-
he'd like to.
Yeah.
Through
Well, no,
the
actually,
wall.
I'm just really excited to actually hear them all like properly mixed and recorded and everything. Because I've heard them all through my wall, and I'm like, man, this rocks. But like when it's actually like put together properly and mixed, and I can hear the vocals and the words you guys are singing, because when you guys did the one live stream and you played one of the new songs, I was like, oh, that's what the lyrics are. I've never heard them before because
That's funny.
all I hear through the walls is just like. Right? So,
Yeah, that's all I hear too when we play. Our PA is probably the quietest thing in that room.
100% it is, yeah.
Just like a consistent competition for sound. So
Yeah, I'm definitely
that's
wicked
exciting, man.
stoked for that this record. Steve, over the past year, has been telling me when you guys were recording and stuff, and every time I'm like, oh, I just want to hear it. I just want to hear
right on.
it.
Well, we're super, super stoked to be sharing it. We're going to have some singles coming out around the end of the summer.
Awesome.
Are you allowed to announce any of them yet, or are you still keeping that under wraps?
I'll talk about one because we were playing it on the stream. So the first single that's coming out is going to be a tune called "Modern Life is Rubbish," and the song isn't an homage, but the title is an homage to. Man, I'm gonna mess this up. It's George's thing. I
was gonna say it's very George, the title.
I want to say it's Blur album. Modern Life is Rubbish, but I probably just screwed that up and pissed off a bunch of people.
It's okay. When we have George on, he can correct
Oh,
it and throw
yeah,
you under the
please.
bus and stuff.
There you go. You should. Rightfully so. Yeah, so that'll be the first single. We don't have a date yet because things are still being mixed and mastered. But we're going to be posting about it and talking about it and all that. And maybe by the time we get the other guys on here, things will be a little more lined up and get some more info for you.
Cool, man. Speaking of that live stream you guys did, you guys have a YouTube channel too that people can check out and see some of your stuff at, right?
We do, yeah. We have a YouTube channel, and we used it a bit in high school and then kind of stopped posting on there. And then through the quarantine, started posting podcasts on there. Steve was actually on one of those as well.
Yeah, I don't know if that one's been put up yet or not.
I don't think it has, because it was 3 hours long, and by the end, we had drank quite a bit, and I think there's
Yeah,
just a bunch of junk that needs to be edited out of there. We got,
yeah. George has a lot of work to do on that for
yeah,
editing.
I think we've kind of faltered from the podcast ourselves. We're definitely not as professional as you guys in that sense, and
Oh,
yeah,
wow. Professional. Okay.
yeah, I'd say so. Yeah.
I'll take it.
It's kind of funny because pretty much every time it's so far we've had to edit out a bunch of stuff where we're kind of just rambling and talking
Hmm.
over each other and stuff. So,
Right.
but yeah,
Yeah,
and we're
well,
gonna
yeah,
be
that happens.
yeah. So we recorded our last two live stream shows where we actually before summer started and I came back to Calgary to work for the summer, we recorded a live set of both of our old EPs,
Hmm.
and we're going to
With
be
some
posting
covers too, right?
with some covers in there as well. So we're going to be posting those onto YouTube.
Are you going to cut out the Modern Life from the YouTube video? Was that just a stream exclusive, or do you know?
I'm pretty sure that one was a stream exclusive. So
I
if you
thought
were
so.
there,
Yeah. Yeah.
but the single's hopefully going to be coming quite soon.
Yeah.
So,
So people won't have to wait too long to hear it.
no, you won't have to wait too long to hear that one, but you can hear us cover a couple tunes. I think we did Dance Floor by the Arctic Monkeys,
Nice.
and we also did Bodies by Carsey
Yeah.
Headrest.
That one sounded
Nice.
really good. I remember George
Thank
was
you.
like working on memorizing those lyrics for like what, like a week or something. He was just walking around with that sheet of paper.
Yeah, that was pretty funny. Man, that one was quite a bite. I haven't really put that much effort into a cover song in so long. Just doing the
You guys
backing
killed it.
vocals.
Yeah,
Well, thank you, man.
it sounded really good. I was kind of like not surprised, but what's the word? Because your guys is like especially specifically you, Stellar, you have a very distinct way of singing.
Right.
And on the actual album, it's just like what's his name, Will or whatever, singing both parts, I believe.
Yeah.
But that's not your guys' style. That's not the GP way. It's George and then you, and also that'd be impossible to do live, right?
Oh, yeah.
And I really thought it worked really, really well with your guys' voices doing the part where there's the overlapping vocals, especially. I think it's really cool because you guys' I guess the tone of your voices both kind of like take up different spaces in the sound. So it doesn't feel like anything is being stepped on, and it just I don't know. I thought it sounded really cool during the actual live stream. So yeah.
Well, that's great, man. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, that was actually quite the challenge for me, but it's been fun. I've been doing quite a bit more with the backing vocals being a bit more lyrical, right? Like that
Mhm.
song was a great push for that, but we've also got a couple on the new record where I'm doing
Yeah.
backing vocals and singing. There's one where I'm like, it's like almost operatic until the end where I kind of just yell the same lyrics,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
um,
Nice.
it's been fun and it's in itself a different approach to the way I've been singing because my way to sing is just to do it wrong. So it's yeah, any vocal coach or professional singer would probably cringe at most of the stuff I do because it's if not the actual sound of it, the technique for sure.
Hmm. Yeah.
But yeah, that like the backing stuff, it really does take some discipline and some air support, and it's tons of fun. It feels really good to get that stuff lined up.
That's awesome, dude.
Thank
Do you oh sorry, go ahead, RJ, yeah.
I was actually just gonna ask you about you released last year your solo EP.
Spider
I did.
Snake.
Yep, Spider Snake. You want to tell us anything about recording that, the process with that, and anything?
Sure, that was a really great time and kind of unplanned actually. That was the winter right before the pandemic really kicked in. I was back home for the winter break after our first semester of school, and our producer Craig Carswell, who actually just started a new band as well called Dorian's Mirror that you guys should check out.
Oh,
But
that's him. Okay, I didn't
yeah,
realize that. Okay, cool.
but yeah,
I've seen him on Instagram.
Craig had recorded our two EPs for us, and we're quite close. He lives in High River. But he heard I was back in town and just got a hold of me and was like, "Hey man, do you want to record some songs while you're here? Maybe we can make an EP." I was like, "Yeah, okay." And so we got together and started working on some tunes. Two of them, "What For" and also "Wandering Man," were songs that I had written in 2018 and 2019 for this festival sort of thing that happens in High River each year. And it's called a Song to Art Festival. it's quite interesting. So they get a bunch of songwriters and visual artists together, and they kind of swap roles. But when I did it, so um, the first year they did it, it was like the songwriter wrote a song and the visual artist created a piece that accompanied the song.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
And then the second year they flipped it, and then the third year was when I got on board, and it was collaborative. So I got to work with this sculptor named Bob Pike, and wrote the tune "Wandering Man," and we had to work on a piece of art to go with it. Or basically, it was a collective piece, so that song went along with his sculpture, and we had to plan like what our idea and our premise was going to be, and kind of work on them side by side. And that was a really
super cool.
interesting process. So that whole song is actually about Bob Pike, because I remember we met up at a cafe a few times and ended up just chatting. He was telling me about his life. He was like, yeah, you know, I was like in the 60s and I just like ran away from home and went to LA and tried to make art and did a bunch of acid and fell on a bad path and then came back here and made more art. I just thought his stories were really cool. So that's where that one kind of came from.
That's really
interesting.
actually.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah.
I didn't
Thank
even
you.
think.
It was super cool. I got to track down. I used to have a picture of his sculpture that he did. I would have loved to have bought it, but he's a phenomenal sculptor and it was worth quite a bit of money, rightfully
If
so.
there's a picture of that on like Instagram or something, we can definitely like post that or like put it in the link dump or something.
I'll do some digging once we get off here because I'm sure I have it somewhere. And if not, I can send
man.
Bob an email and track a picture down from him.
Yeah,
Yes, that
I'd
would be
love to see
great.
that.
But yeah, and then we recorded the other tunes as well. The one song on there, the opening track, was the only one where I did more than just guitar and vocals. That song's called Moral Support.
Yeah,
And we
that's
actually-
a
I
great
love
tune.
moral support.
Yeah.
I love moral support.
Thank you. Yeah, so that one actually wasn't just my song. That was a collaborative effort
Yeah.
with a bunch of people from school. We wrote that
From
for
McEwen.
our
I remember when you guys performed that.
yeah, we wrote
in
that
musicology.
for yeah, in musicology, for musicology class. We had to write and perform that tune, and then yeah, when Craig called me in there, I only had a few. I used to write acoustic songs all the time, and I still know a bunch of the ones I did, but they kind of lost their fondness to me, you know, like that was kind of where I
Mhm.
started to like learn how to write songs. And
Yeah.
while I'm proud of some of them and my mom really wants me to play a lot of them, I just don't feel like they're really up to par with my own standards of myself anymore and what I'd like to do. So I was a little uncertain on what songs I wanted to do. So I reached out to all those guys that we collaborated with and was like, hey, would you guys mind if I recorded this song on my EP? Like, naturally, I'll give you all songwriting credits. And they're like, yeah, absolutely, that'd be great. And so I asked them what we should name it, and they were like, oh, I don't care, just make sure you credit us for moral support. And that's kind of where the name of that one came from. I was like, that actually is pretty nice, moral support.
That makes sense. I was wondering that actually.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah. But yeah, that whole EP, I was pretty interesting project to do, and I was pretty grateful for the opportunity.
Mm-hmm. And it sounds really good. I remember, yeah, when it first came out, I was like, damn, this is sick. Like, I think. Oh, one more question. The last song on the album,
Yeah,
did you and Tristan just record that in the sunroom in the front?
we did.
Okay, I thought so.
Actually, yeah.
I thought so.
Yeah, and I wanted that. So that last one's just a demo, and I had written it. I had already received the rest of the record and was like ready to put it out, and then just had like some life circumstances going on, and I had this new song that was pretty meaningful to me personally, and I just really wanted to put it out there. But the song itself was very just like raw and honest vocally. So I kind of wanted the recording
kind of sound, yeah.
to reflect that. So I straight up just opened up GarageBand and opened up my laptop and just sprung it on Tristan. I was like, we're going to record this song in the sunroom. We're doing it in one take. That's it. And we're just going to go.
And it
And
turned out really well, man.
yeah, it's funny. I actually messed up a couple times, but I played it off pretty well. I can
Oh,
still
really?
hear them when I
Really?
listen back. Yeah, and when I listen back, I'm like, yeah, that doesn't actually really sound like a mistake. So that's nice. Like I still fit in all the things I wanted to say. But yeah, that one in itself was pretty interesting. But I realized after releasing it that I have no idea the true work that goes into sound engineering because the levels were way off and it was like so much quieter than the rest of the
Yeah.
songs on that record. But in a sense, I was kind of like, oh, that's okay because maybe people will have to listen a little harder for that one.
Yeah, yeah.
That's cool, man. Yeah.
But yeah, that was just straight up in the sunroom, just right in front of our house, like the boot room. I opened the door intentionally too. I left the door
So you
to
can
the
get the
house
car
wide
sounds,
open.
yeah.
I wanted the traffic sounds, and I actually wanted that because of a Jack Johnson song that I really liked. That was just a demo on one of his albums, and it sounded like he was just playing on the street. It's like cars and people. You could hear all the background noise. Like a truck came halfway through the song and like squealed its brakes, and you hear him like laugh a little and kind of start again as he's playing because of this truck coming by. And I was just like, is quite an intimate song. So it's like, yeah, I think that'd be nice.
And I think that was, I don't know, I felt that's how it really came off too in that one too.
Yeah,
like,
I definitely think you nailed that vibe.
Right on.
Yeah,
Thanks,
totally.
guys.
Yep.
Do we want to play the first song Stellar has for us here? Or?
Yeah. I was just gonna say that you sent us "Did You Think" by Arlie.
Yeah.
As a song you've been listening to a lot lately, had on repeat.
Yeah, actually, I might have bent the rules a little bit. I haven't had it on repeat super often lately, but throughout the year,
we're not gonna play it now, Stellar. I'm sorry.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, podcast over.
Strict
podcast
adherence
done?
to the rules. Yeah.
All right. Well, I'm fired.
Yeah, you're out. Sorry.
No, but I've listened to it many, many times through the year, and I was just I was racking my brain when you guys gave me that assignment of a song that
Assignment.
yeah, it's like homework. But a song that had like some meaning to me, and that one kind of stuck out for me. I had actually known none of the other songs by that band. That song just showed up in my recommended feed on Spotify.
Oh, yeah.
I think last summer is the first time I heard it, and it was like, I was in a pretty rough spot mentally and just kind of having a hard time and forgetting like why I was doing all this and why I was up in Edmonton and just wasn't really feeling that drive or that motive to do anything anymore. And I remember one day I was like, I had been up all night, which was a regular occurrence. So it was like the sun was coming up and I had to start moving my body or I was going to fall asleep. So I like threw my headphones on to go for a walk and just hit shuffle on one of my daily mixes. And as I started walking out the door, this song came on and the lyrics just kind of started. The lyrics impacted me almost instantly. I think that one's got a quite powerful message, and it directs pretty directly, to the things that we've been doing. And I think a lot of people could take something away from the song itself. I found it quite powerful.
Awesome.
That's awesome, man. I'm excited to hear it now.
Yeah, let's take a listen, and then we can talk about it some more after.
Let's do it.
Sweet.
Never thought you'd be the kind of guy to get a day job. 9 to 5, you're gonna take off. You're gonna go against the grain. Never thought you'd be the kind of guy to take a safe route. By and by, you're gonna break out. The world's gonna know your name. So why you sitting around? Did you think it'd be easy? I tell you if it was easy, then everybody do it too. You say you haven't got the kind of time to take a beach day, 'cause you're too busy every weekday to ever get up off your chair. You say you haven't got the kind of time to get a girlfriend, 'cause you're too busy every weekend. You haven't got a second to spare. So why you sitting around? Did you think it'd be easy? I tell you if it was easy, then everybody do it too. You say you're gonna leave the whole knock life behind. You're gonna hitch your little wagon up to a should be the kind of guy to get a day job. 9 to 5, you're gonna take off. You're gonna go against the grain. So why you sitting around? Or did you think it'd be easy? I tell you, if it was easy, everybody do it too. You say you're chasing a dream. Well, you better get moving. Every second you waste, what you're trying to chase gets away from you.
Yeah, that was a great tune.
Yeah, that was really
Thanks,
cool.
guys. Yeah, I really like that song. The last chorus, particularly, they do like a second layer of vocals on top of it. But just like, I don't know, I remember in that time listening to that song, and that last chorus got around, and it just like felt the whole thing with my soul.
Yeah.
It's that
Just
like,
really
so,
hit, yeah.
yeah, you know, so why you sitting around? Did you think it'd be easy? Tell you if it was easy, then everybody'd do it too. You say you're chasing a dream, well, you better get moving. Every second you waste, the world you're trying to chase gets away from you.
Yeah,
I just thought that was
Yeah, I
really,
see what
really great.
I
and
see what you
it's-
mean with those lyrics. Yeah.
And it's one of those songs that can just really apply to like anyone. Like anyone can listen to that and be like, you know, you're right. Like I can work harder. I can do this. You know, I can put the work in. This is my dream.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I definitely always like those songs where it can apply to anyone. Like anyone can listen to it and be like, yeah, like I can relate to this.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, the world needs more uplifting music.
Right. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, totally.
I
just always
definitely
find it's harder
don't.
to write that stuff.
Oh, absolutely. I was just going to say that I'm definitely not contributing to the happy music thing. I still think we need some more of it for sure.
Totally. Yeah. No, that was super cool. You said that just came up randomly on your Spotify Discover or whatever?
It did, yeah. I just threw on like a daily mix one day and I clicked shuffle and that was the first song that came on. And
Yeah,
it went straight into my playlist from there.
Totally. Yeah, that's sick, man. It's kind of crazy like how much like cool new stuff you can find just from like the Spotify mixes.
Yeah, definitely. I found it to be a little harder recently. Now they just recommend like artists that are already in my playlist and I want to hear new stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, that's annoying when it's like, okay, yeah, I know I've already heard like these songs by this artist. I already know like cuz a lot of times it'll be like, all right, cool. Oh, you like this song from this album? How about another song from this album? And it's like, yeah, I know. I've listened to the whole album. There's a reason why there's only so many on my playlist from that one. Show me something a little bit different. And then if you're like me and you share a Spotify account with like 3 other people, the recommendations are just all over the place.
Yeah. But no, it really still is a great outlet to discover new music. That is something to be said
totally.
for Spotify and Apple Music for sure. Those curated playlists can be pretty great sometimes.
Yeah, definitely. I discovered a band in like 2018 on Spotify called End of a Year.
Okay.
And they've got like 10,000 monthly listeners, and it was just one song off their 2010 record called Composite Character, and instantly I heard it, I'm like, damn, this is a really good song. It's like kind of like garage rock, indie, all that like vein of music. But yeah, I definitely get what you're saying with like kind of lately. I feel like over the past year, Spotify hasn't been recommending me as much like new artists I've never really heard of.
Maybe they changed their algorithm or something.
Yeah, maybe.
Probably. It feels like Spotify. I mean, we're just talking about how great Spotify is, but here's the other side of it. It feels like Spotify really is just weighted very heavily towards the people who are already getting listens, as opposed to like new smaller bands, right? So
yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Without a doubt. I got an email from Spotify the other day, and they're trying to sell us promotion packages through their platform. which is like, hey, you want people to listen to music naturally and organically through our algorithms? Give us more money. It's like,
And we'll weight those
yeah, we'll just like
algorithms. Yep.
rig the scales in your favor. It's man, that's shady. I mean, I guess radio works the same way though too, right?
Oh, totally. Yeah. Yeah.
You
Yeah,
know,
it's
that's
kind
just
of
kind
a
of the industry.
consistent issue in the industry.
Totally.
So I definitely want to know like how you got into music. You know, the first instrument you played for sure. Have you always been a bass player?
Yeah, I grew up. I was raised with my mom, and she was quite a bit younger, but all of her friends were like hardcore punk rockers, like leather spike jackets with
Yeah.
the shoulders and the mohawks and the like combat boots. Like they were punk rockers tooth and nail. And I just remember I grew up around a lot of that music and that kind of lifestyle. And like, living in a house where there was like bands playing in the basement all the time when I was younger. And just like, that was just the thing. Music was just always the thing that was the joy and the thing worth doing when times were tough or even when times were good. It's just like what was around.
Yeah,
I actually
that's
didn't
awesome.
start, yeah, and I didn't start playing music for a really long time after that. But I remember being really transfixed with the bass. I would have been like 5 or 6 years old, and there was a band rehearsing in our basement, and they were called like Flynn and the Hurricanes or something like that. I don't think they're still around anymore. But it was just like some local rockabilly band, but their front man was this guy on upright, and he'd like sing rockabilly and play the upright. I remember just sitting down there watching them rehearse one time, and he was like twirling his bass around and doing all that stuff and just being like blown away. I was like, that is the coolest thing on the planet. Yeah. Like nothing tops that.
Yeah, that's always sick when they do that. Like,
Oh man, I wish I could. I'm too scared.
well, don't do it with your bass. Yeah, that bass is way
No.
too nice.
I mean, I can
But-
spin them just like, they do it like with the cord and it doesn't tangle the cord. I'm like, I don't know.
Yeah, true.
Yeah.
Well, it's
I
like
don't know.
Zach was telling us a story. Sorry, just real quick digression.
No worries.
He was telling us a story of like bands that he's seen who like just jump into the pit, and I was
Yeah.
like, "Oh, do they have wirelesses?" And he's like, "No, man. People are getting wrapped in cables. Like,
Yeah.
I don't understand how you do that."
Yeah, right.
Anyway, sorry, Stellar, continue.
No, that's anarchy. Some people just don't care.
Hell yeah.
Yeah,
But like, yeah. But yeah, and then I didn't start playing music for quite some time. I remember I would have been 9 or 10, and I had still been into music for a long time. But my stepdad tried to teach me guitar, and he taught me a G chord, and I could play a G chord. But then I got really frustrated when he tried to teach me anything else, and I kind of just put the guitar down and didn't think about it for a really long time. But then once middle school started, I got into the school band program there. I remember we were trying out all the different wind instruments. Band teacher was trying to see like what we had a knack for and what we wanted to do. And I remember I was just like so bad at all of them. And then he was just like, hey, maybe this thing in the back will work for you. Hang on, let's go take a look. I haven't pulled it out in years. And then he just like walked me into the back storage room and pulled out an upright bass. And I was like, yep,
damn.
I'm on board. Yeah, let's
Yeah,
go.
that's the one.
Yeah. And yeah, so I started learning bass. I remember actually I only played upright for like the first 2 weeks there when I started middle school because I was too small. I had to stand on a stool and my hands weren't big enough. So then I switched to electric bass and I learned on electric bass for 2 years. And then it was middle school was wrapping up and my middle school band teacher was like, hey, so when you get into high school band, they're going to make you play upright. That's like, you don't get to play electric, especially in symphonic. So you should probably start learning the upright. It's like, oh, started working on that one. Yeah. And then in like 10th grade, I think is when I really started to like learn how to play music. Right before
Yeah.
that, it was just like kind of reading sheet music or tabs or, playing like video game songs. Like I learned the Legend of Zelda theme on the
Right.
bass.
Oh hell yeah, yeah.
Thought that was the coolest thing ever. It's still a rad tune, but that was like the extent of it until I started taking bass lessons with Greg Carroll, and he's the bass player for a country rock band called Black Mountain Whiskey Rebellion.
Oh,
That's a great name.
That's a great band.
Yeah, they're really good.
heard of them?
And
Yeah, I love those guys.
yeah, that's their bass player was my teacher. He taught me like theory and bass and stuff.
That's
But,
awesome.
Yeah, that's kind of when I started, like, we had just started the band GP, so I was starting to take music lessons and kind of learn how to do things better. And he taught me like how songs worked and taught me theory and started getting me really going with like making music.
Right. Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love like rockabilly bands and just upright bass and just when bands are playing like kind of weird instruments that you don't normally see.
Oh, totally.
Washboard and stuff.
Yeah, like Days and Days.
Yeah.
Like they got like a washboard, wash tub bass.
Yeah.
Days
There's
and
this one guy Days and Days are awesome.
Yeah.
There's this
great
one
band.
guy before everything shut down, I was volunteering at a music festival every year in the summer that's held in Fort McLeod called South Country Fair. And every year they have an act that plays there, and his name is Washboard Hank.
Huh.
And he
Washboard Hank.
he plays a washboard, but he's more like a one-man band because he'll have like stuff attached to his feet, and he's got like this helmet that's basically a giant bell. And he like washboards and like taps his bell, and he's doing all this crazy stuff, and he'll like sing while he does it. He made like a tuba out of PVC pipe. He plays
That's
sometimes.
awesome.
He was kind of wacky. It was funny because he was like a artist for kids. They'd have him play through the day, and he was super entertaining. But he was also like super drunk all the time. I remember I was volunteering. I really hope I don't get in trouble for telling these stories. I'm sure I won't. I remember I was volunteering in the back, and I just knew Washboard Hank as Washboard Hank, the guy who like does parades around the field with all the kids and plays his tuba and the washboard and stuff. That's awesome. And he like rolled out of the parking lot in the afternoon in like a convertible, and there was like 6 women in his convertible and him, and he was just like, "I'm the mayor of South Country Fair, and you're my favorite volunteer," and just like sped off down the road. I was like, wow, all right. Yeah.
That's the coolest thing ever.
Nicely done, Washboard Hank.
Yeah. Have you guys ever seen like videos or like been to a Go-Go Bordello show?
No,
I can't say I have.
Dude, their fiddle player will play the fiddle so fast that you see his like bow exploding while he's playing.
Oh my god.
Like, yeah, you gotta like check out on YouTube a video of them playing. It's crazy.
Can you give me their name one more time?
Go-Go Bordello. It's like Gogol.
Got you.
Yeah.
I found them already. Perfect.
Yep.
I'll have to drop
Nice.
that in the YouTube description there, RJ.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I have a lot of respect for fiddle players. I think fiddle is such a cool instrument.
Yeah,
I
definitely.
think a lot of it comes from like growing up in the area that I like grew up in. A lot of it is like redneck, but a lot of it's also Métis, and Métis fiddle players are like they just kill it, man. It's awesome. If you ever get a chance to see like. I feel bad. I wish I could say some names. It's mostly just like local people here that I've seen do it, but they just kill it, man. And then like the jigging and stuff like that. I was always so jealous that I never learned how to do it. I guess I could just learn, but I won't. So
That's fair. That's fair. Yeah, fiddle really is awesome. It's great. I remember in high school, I was asked to accompany the Calgary Fiddlers, which was like a youth fiddler group in Calgary, and it went super bad.
Oh,
I kind of blew it.
Oh, nice.
I did. So yeah, I was playing guitar as like a bass player, reading sheets.
oh yeah,
And I don't want to make excuses. I just did bad. It was kind of
Fair
funny.
enough, yeah.
Looking back on it now, it's funny. I was choked at the time. I felt.
I was
real
gonna
bad.
say at the
It was
time
like-
that'd be just mortifying. Yeah.
yeah, but no, it's pretty funny. Yeah, it didn't. But they were really great. They do stuff all the time. I think they still do. It's like a city group, and they play all over the place.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, that's kind of
Yeah.
cool. It's
And, I don't necessarily want to listen to it yet, but for a song that's like, you know, a classic for you, you're always in the mood for, you sent us Fall Back Down by Rancid, right?
Yeah.
As soon as Steve sent me that was your song, my eyes like lit up. I'm like, oh, sweet, I get to talk about Rancid again.
Oh,
this
Rancid's
is
so
the
great. man.
second. Yeah, this is the second Rancid song I think that's been played on the podcast
Yeah.
already.
Oh, that's
in
sick.
like our 4 episodes. So
Yeah, I'm a huge Rancid fan, and just like, the 90s California, like, punk bands in general. Like,
Absolutely.
anytime I don't know what I want to listen to, I can put on, like, some Rancid, Bad Religion, something like that, and it's like, well,
Absolutely.
that's what I'm always wanting to listen to.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Rancid's real great.
they're so good, dude. The song that I played for the first episode I was on, I was actually just a guest, and then it went pretty well. So RJ was like, "You want to just like come on the podcast?" And I was like,
Quite-
"Oh, sure, I guess so."
Quite the promotion, Steve. Nicely done.
Yeah, right. I know. But I played Maxwell Murder because I've been working on learning that bass solo because that was like one of the first songs I listened to when I was in like high school, and I was like, I gotta learn how to do that. And then I just couldn't because it's insane.
Yeah. You're
Yeah, I'm
actually
working on
learning that one though?
I'm working on it. I publicly said it on the podcast that I'm gonna learn how to do it, so that means that now I actually have to.
Yeah.
But
That's
it's been going all right.
You're a crazy bastard, Steve, might I say. That's awesome though. I'm stoked to hear that.
We'll see. I'm hoping by the end of the summer I'll post a video of me doing it because
Nice.
there's only one video of me playing bass on my account, and I realize that now. And it's from like 2015, and it's me playing Enter Sandman badly. So I feel like I
That's
need
awesome.
to update the profile a little bit.
Almost all the videos of me playing bass on social media are like, here's me doing bad.
Well, what was that one that you put just recently this year or whatever? When it was it Donna Lee?
It was Donnelly, but it was at
Yeah.
like 60 beats per minute, and a bunch of wrong notes were in there and stuff. And that song's supposed to be played at like 210.
Well, I just remember when you posted it, even in the video, you were like, "All right, this isn't gonna be perfect, but I want to post something, so
Yeah.
check this out." And
Pretty
then
much.
you posted it, and it was like, "Yeah, that rocks, dude." Like I can't even. Donna Lee is such a hard tune, man. Like,
Oh my
props
God.
to you for even attempting it.
Dude, I kind of bit off more than I could chew for that assignment, but it was fun, and it's like it took me way too long and lots of frustration and like self-loathing for deciding that's what I was going to do.
Yeah.
But getting it done was pretty rewarding. It's quite
I was
the
gonna say,
melody
it was
line.
good, yeah.
Yeah. Jeremy learned it this year and blew me out of the water, and that doesn't surprise me at all. But he did really great.
Jeremy's
Jeremy's awesome. So yeah, Jeremy's our buddy from school. He's like bass all-star.
Nice.
Yeah, he's
Yeah.
crazy. I I don't know if I should say. I'll say it. It's fine. It's funny. My favorite thing about Jeremy is watching him play upright because Jeremy's a pretty short guy, so the upright's about the same size as he is.
Oh yeah.
So he'll walk around the school with it like strapped to his back, and it's so funny because it's like bigger than he is. He looks like a cartoon character or something.
Yeah, it's pretty rad. But he like plays that thing. Like,
Oh my
crazy.
god, he's
So,
incredible. Yeah,
yeah.
Jeremy-
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Insane. The guy has the best bass chops, I think, in like. Well, I don't know. I don't want to get like too generalizing too much around McEwen or whatever, but Jeremy is an insane bass player, and I think everyone who's seen him play would agree with that.
Yeah, absolutely. I don't think that's a contentious statement at all there, Steve.
Yeah, not controversial. I don't think. Yeah.
Yeah, I love the bass in general. I feel like something that I've always said is it feels like the bass is easier to learn than the guitar, but it's way harder to be like a really good bass player than it is to be a
totally.
really good guitar player.
Yeah, I think
At
that's a fair statement in some ways.
Yeah. That's definitely what I tell girls.
Yeah, right. That's
Yeah.
that's a great way to pad my own ego, where it's like,
exactly.
Yeah.
sure, there's less strings and I play less notes and do less and all that, but I had to learn so much theory, bro. Like, come on,
Yeah.
give me
So
some credit. Let's go.
technically, I'm better than the guitar player who just saw shredding. So
Yeah, right. Except like I couldn't do half of that. There's no chance.
Yeah, no way.
But I do think there is like as much as I joke, I do think there is some truth to that. I think the gap between like an okay bass player and like a good, like great bass player, I think that's pretty wide. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And not saying that it isn't for guitar, but I feel like it's a lot easier to be flashy on guitar, so it's a lot easier to disguise how good of a guitar player you are. If that
Right,
makes sense.
like in Sublime's "What I Got," Bradley says he can play the guitar like a motherfucking riot, and then busts out like a really simple acoustic guitar solo.
I just saw like a meme about that the other day.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's
Sorry,
good
Stella,
stuff.
you're saying?
Yeah, it's like I think a good analogy for that is like guitars like kung fu, where it's super flashy and fast, crazy,
Mm-hmm.
really
Yeah.
cool. But bass is like I want to say Tai Chi.
or like
It's like
boxing.
slow, right? Yeah, or boxing, or something where it's like definitely doesn't look as cool,
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
but probably
But there's
just
definitely a lot that goes into it.
yeah. That's what all bass players tell ourselves. We just constantly have to
yeah,
remind ourselves and everybody else that we're not just the bass player.
Listen, we're doing something there too.
Somewhere.
We're not just getting paid.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, since I mean you guys are both like bassists, I just want to ask,
Mm-hmm.
who do you guys think are the best like bassists of all time?
Of all time. Oh, Stellar, you want to take this one first?
I gotta say, for myself personally, probably Charles Mingus.
Yeah.
Yeah. But
Yeah,
I was
Good
thinking,
answer.
I was like, I figured you'd say a jazz guy. I wasn't sure if you'd go with like Paul Chambers
Yeah.
or Ray Brown or someone though.
there's a fair assumption to think I'd pick a jazz guy for sure. I know way more jazz bass players than rock ones, ashamedly, coming from
Really?
the rock musician.
Right.
Oh, absolutely. I'm so bad with names.
I only
But,
know like 3 jazz bassists, so and
Oh, yeah.
I just said them all. So
Nice. That's fair. I think, and for one of the craziest bass players I've heard in like on like electric bass would probably have to be like Les Claypool,
Oh, yeah.
Primus.
Yeah,
Primus,
let's click
yeah,
this thing.
they're just not. Or like that YouTube guy, Charles
Mono Neon.
Berthoud.
Oh
No,
no, mind, sorry.
Mono Neon's great too, but I was gonna say Charles Berthoud. He just does like meme videos basically where he like makes a joke and then just shreds the most ridiculous bass solo
Yeah.
for a minute and then turns off. I don't know. And he does like all solo stuff. So and it's funny because as a bassist, like you're very much a team player. You're the band's healer.
Mhm.
Like that's
Yeah,
that's
literally
rough.
the cleric. Yeah.
Yeah, totally. So like seeing someone do that, it's a little hard. Like he's phenomenal, but when it comes to playing a support role, I don't know. But yeah, he's good too. Charles
Yeah,
Berthoud.
definitely.
I feel like we can't have a conversation about like best bass players without at least saying Jocko.
Oh yeah,
We'll acknowledge Jocko is amazing. Don't worry.
yes, that
Everyone
has to
would
be
be
said.
screaming at us if we didn't bring it up.
All the bass players listening to the podcast going like just
Yeah.
fuming, waiting for that name to be dropped.
You got to say Jocko and Rocco, like
Yeah.
from Tower of Power. Rest in peace,
Yeah.
by the way. I think he died last year, right?
Oh really?
Yeah,
I think so.
Oh, that's too bad.
It was just recently, but yeah, obviously, yeah, those two are amazing. My favorite though, Mingus. Just listen to his solo on Haitian Fight Song. That's just like, oh,
Yes.
so good. But for rock players, I'm a big Cliff Burton guy.
Oh, yeah.
Just because like that's the music I kind of made me love music and rock in general.
Awesome.
But yeah, I'm right there with you. Les Claypool is insane, and I don't know his name off the top of my head. I think it's Clay Gober or something. But the bassist for Polyphia is.
Oh my goodness, yeah, they're crazy. Polyphia,
Right?
that
Yeah.
whole band is. Yeah,
I think that's his name.
I don't actually know the names of any of those guys. I've just listened to
Yeah.
a couple of their
Yeah.
records. But yeah, they're crazy.
Totally, yeah, they rock.
Well, like, what genre would Polyphia even be considered? Because it's like
I don't know.
it almost makes me think of classical music, where
Well,
it's like really
it's-
orchestrated and intricate
Totally.
parts kind of layered in together.
RJ, have you ever listened to Polyphia?
Not extensively, only like a few times here and there.
Okay, I would say, I don't know if it's their newest album. They might have put on something more recently, but I think it's 2019. They put on an album called New Levels, New Devils, and it is fantastic. It's this weird like mix of like, actually I think it was 2018, but it's this weird mix of like Stellar said, kind of classical like composed stuff with like kind of like almost like hip hop. Like, am I out there for saying that, Stellar? Just with
No.
like the the groove and like the drums and stuff like that. It kind of has that vibe, and it also feels kind of electronic at the same time. It sounds like something that would play at a rave,
Yeah.
but something that I would actually listen to.
Right,
Whereas
something
Right.
Yeah,
like rave music with musical merit.
yeah.
Sorry to anybody who makes rave music also.
I was gonna say, yeah, that's something that could
Yeah.
get in trouble, I think. But I also
Yeah.
love saying that because I have a friend who loves that stuff, and nothing brings me more joy than taking away his happiness. So.
Right. That's fair. Yeah, it almost like it's very much like that Instagram guitar sound. I don't know what
Yeah,
genre
kinda,
that would be,
yeah.
but like all those dudes you see that just like wail on guitar on Instagram.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, but they're so good. Like, I think the opening track from that one is called "Nasty." That song, like, I first listened to that and I was like, okay, yeah, I got to listen to this whole thing. Like, it really sucked me in. They're fantastic.
Yeah. So you guys want to take a listen to "Fall Back Down"?
Yeah, on a completely
sorry.
different note.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're gonna listen to the Rancid now. Yeah, Fall Back
Alright.
Down's a great tune though. Yeah.
All right, Gage, set it up.
Don't worry about me, I'm gonna make it alright. Got my enemies crossed field in my sight. I take a beer situation, gonna make it right. In the shadow of the darkness, I stand in the light. See, it's our style, we keep it true. I had a bad year, I've gone through. I've been knocked out, beat down, black and blue. She's not the one coming back for you. She's not the one coming back for you. If I fall back down, you're gonna help me back up again. If I fall back down, you're gonna be my friend. If I fall back down, you're gonna help me back up again. If I fall back down, you're gonna be my friend. It takes disaster to learn a lesson. You're gonna make it through the darkest night. Some people betray more than class treason. Wanna make everything alright. Woo! Well, the worst of times now, they don't faze me. Even if I look and act really crazy, I won't wait down, she betrayed me. Now my vision is no longer hazy. I'm very lucky to have my crew. They stood by me when she flew. I've been knocked down, beat down, black and blue. She's not the one coming back for you. She's not the one coming back for you. If I fall back down, you're gonna help me back up again. If I fall back down, you're gonna be my friend. If I fall back down, you're gonna help me back up again. If I fall back down, you're gonna be my friend. If I fall back down, you're gonna help me back up again. If I fall back down, you're gonna be my friend. If I fall back down, you're gonna help me back up again. If I fall back down, you're gonna be my friend. If I fall back down, you're gonna help me back up again. If I fall back down, you're gonna be my friend. If I fall back down, you're gonna help me back up again. If I fall back down, you're gonna be my friend.
Yeah, I love that song, man. I don't think there's a single
Such a good
person in the
tune.
world who doesn't.
Yeah,
Like,
Yeah, right.
100% great tune. I
Oh,
think
absolutely.
that might have been the tune that got me into Rancid when I was like 13.
oh, it totally was for me. It totally was for me.
Yeah.
I think it was that or Ruby Soho.
Yeah, it was
Actually, I
one
think
of
Ruby
those
Soho.
two.
Yeah, Ruby Soho was the first one that I knew was by Rancid, but I had heard and sang this song before like a million times because it's like, it's everywhere. Like that song
Yeah,
is like,
yeah.
there's no one who hasn't heard that song.
Yeah, totally.
But yeah, that's oh man, it's just that's such a good vibe, that song. I don't know why. Like it makes me think of just driving around with your buddies, just like rocking
Yeah,
out.
just
you know?
hanging out.
Absolutely. Very much another happy song. I'm surprised that I ended up picking two upbeat
Yeah.
songs for this.
Yeah, look at
Yeah,
you, man.
yeah.
Positive vibes today.
Yeah, right. What's up with that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think
But
it's
yeah,
good,
no,
though.
that one makes me super nostalgic for like growing up. Rancid was like the soundtrack to my childhood,
Yeah, definitely.
and that song, yeah, it just makes me think of like, yeah, hanging out with the buddies and hanging out with the family, and we covered that one with GP years ago now. I think it would have been like 10th grade,
Really, yeah.
and we
Oh,
played
wow,
that
yeah.
song. We only played it a couple times live. We should bring it back. But
Yeah,
yeah,
definitely.
and like that song makes me think of, yeah, like makes me pretty nostalgic for those days, but also makes me think of my boys,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was listening to it and I was thinking of like last summer, me, you, and Tristan like drinking at the aviary.
Oh, hell yeah. That was a great time, man.
Yeah, and stumbling back in the middle of the night on like your boards and my bike or whatever.
Yeah.
Man, COVID is not the best.
No, it's crazy that it's been like, yeah, that whole where it's like, oh yeah, it's been 2 years since we started school, where this whole year just kind of felt like a really, really long, not a year for sure.
Yeah,
Yeah,
totally.
definitely.
Right? Yeah. It's like,
Oh.
yeah, you know, like Steve, you've been living with us for what, like 8 months now?
It's almost been it'll be a full year at the end of the summer here, like in August of it,
Yeah,
basically.
yeah,
So,
damn,
it is 8
Right?
months, yeah.
Yeah, it's wild.
Jeez.
Right. It doesn't feel like it's been that long, for sure.
No, yeah. And man, I would love to be like, hey, you guys have any more gigs coming up or anything? But I know that the answer is no, because nothing is open in Edmonton.
Well, I appreciate the courtesy. Thanks for not asking. I appreciate it. You didn't have to give me that spiel.
Yeah, sorry, yeah.
Oh no, that's totally fine.
Man, it's gonna be nice though when your guys' album comes out and there's gonna be like new music to listen to, and hopefully by then you guys will
Yeah.
actually be able to like have some sort of like maybe like I don't know if a launch party is realistic, but like I'm sure we could figure something out. This is an off mic conversation. Sorry.
No, it's all good. We are praying to the music gods
Yeah,
that by the time this thing comes out, we can do some release shows.
yeah, that would be awesome.
Yeah,
Dude.
that'd definitely
Yeah.
be sweet.
That's definitely our big hope. But yeah, we'll see how things are looking in the fall, and if it's feasible, absolutely that'll happen. And
Yeah,
if
man.
not, we will still do release shows. I'll do a release show for that album 4 years after it comes out, if that's how long we have
Yeah,
to
there
wait.
you go.
I don't even care. It's
There
like,
you go.
hey, we did it. It's out, everybody. We did it.
Yeah, been out
Back.
for like 3 years, man.
Yeah.
It's like yeah, well,
Yeah, well, this
we're
is the
waiting.
release show.
Okay,
Yeah.
we never had a release show, so technically this still counts. Shut up.
Yeah. We've put out 2 albums since then, but
Well, looks like we're doing 3 release shows tonight.
Yeah.
all in one.
Yeah.
Get ready for a 3-hour set.
Yep.
Yeah. God, yeah. Man,
It makes me think of when we played for way too long at Cameron's house party there.
how long was it? It didn't feel too long, but maybe
It was almost 2 hours for sure.
was that the
without a
first
break.
party or the second one?
Yeah, the first one.
Okay, that makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah.
The second one, I felt like well, never mind. I was gonna say your set was over immediately, but I think that's just because I was running back and forth, carrying drunk people. Or
Maybe. Yeah, and that was our first time doing like a private show. That was tons of fun. I remember
That was so
after
cool,
that
though.
second one, Cameron wanted to do a third one, and we opened up both of them. He was like, "You're gonna open up again?" And I like shot him down. I was like, "We'll play, but I don't think we should open because like people get sick of us if we're headlining all your house parties."
yeah.
But
Well,
then everything shut.
you guys didn't technically open though, because like, Please Be Nice was the opening act for the first show, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Weren't they? And then
Yeah, they were. They had
second
just
one.
other people opening up.
Yeah, and then for the second one, I think Assertive was, but I also missed that, so I came a little bit late. Oh no,
That's
then
fair.
wasn't Mactown? Whatever, doesn't matter.
No, Mactown was born at the first one.
Yes,
Because
at the first one, yeah.
we finished our set, and all those dudes were like, they were talking while we were playing and realized they all knew a few of the same songs, and we're just like,
Right,
yo, we should
yeah.
play these songs. And then
That
got
was
up on stage
Yeah.
and jammed out those tunes. Were you playing bass for that though, Steve?
No, that was
No,
when. That was
That was
before I
when, right?
joined
But
Mactown, yeah.
you're Mactown now, that's right. But yeah, that was
Yeah.
like the first time they played tunes together. I think that's not,
Yeah,
not
that's-
to take credit for the birth of their band or anything,
That's like honestly, that's such a sick way to like have a band be formed. Is just like
right?
a bunch of dudes at a party just being like, "You guys want to just like jam
Play
right
some
now?"
songs.
And they gelled
Yeah.
super well. Yeah.
Oh, dude,
that
those-
original lineup was awesome.
Oh, they did. They like killed it. That was the highlight of the night for me. So much fun.
Mhm.
Yeah, Mactown's
Yeah, no.
great. I'm
Yeah,
excited to see you guys play again.
man, I'm excited to play again. I felt it was so shitty. Like we played at one show in November. After me and Biggs joined the band, replacing Roman and Wen because they left for the Roman trio, which I think also has a song out right now, but I don't know what it's called. So
They
I
just
feel
put one
you know
out.
what it is?
I can't remember the name, but we
Damn,
should
I would-
check out the Roman trio. Anyways,
Yeah,
check out
yeah,
their-
definitely.
Hang on, I'll get the name. We won't
I
leave
feel
it
bad
out.
I can't give it a shout out because I don't remember what it's called. But I'll talk while you're doing it. Anyway, yeah, they left for that. And
Called
then
True
me-
Love.
Oh, there you go.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
True Love by the Roman Trio. Listen to that. But yeah, like Biggs and I kind of like took over and we joined the band. We had like a month to learn like their entire set list for a bar
Yeah.
show at On the Rocks for like 2.5 hour like long set. It was split up between like there's a few breaks or whatever, but like it was 2.5 hours of music and we had to learn all of those covers in like 3.5 maybe.
Yeah.
And then we learned them all, and we were like, "Oh, it's gonna be awesome!" Because after this, we won't have to learn this many songs. It'll be a lot easier. And then we played the show, and it was sick. And then lockdown happened, and
Yeah.
then since then, there's been like no bar shows at all, really. So
Right. So you guys are gonna get back together again and be like, well, let's relearn all those songs.
literally, yeah,
Let's go. All
It's
right.
gonna suck.
But there is so many, man. I was honestly pretty impressed. I remember you were kind of stressing out about all that. I have so
Oh
many
boy,
songs
was
on
I?
there, dude.
Yeah.
Holy crap. But no, they all came together. Like I couldn't learn that many songs in like a year, most likely.
I think-
That's
Oh, you
Quite the
definitely
fortitude.
could. You probably just would have hated your life as much as I did.
yeah, honestly, probably. I'm sure if I had to,
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you'd pull it off.
maybe.
Man, I will say though, I cannot wait for the album release from you guys.
Yeah.
Thanks,
I'm
guys.
so
Yeah, we're
stoked.
super stoked, man. It's gonna be we're really proud. I think it's gonna be pretty great. Not to blow smoke up my butt or anything,
No.
but
Whoa,
you know,
no smoke away, man. If you don't,
Honestly.
me or RJ would do it.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah. No, but honestly, yeah, we're super super proud of the work we've been doing, and we're really really itching to share it with people. And yeah, we think it's gonna be something worth waiting for.
mhm.
Definitely. Well, we could talk
Yeah,
to you
but,
all day about music, but
Let's
we've
bring this
been
thing in for a landing. Yeah.
Sounds
been
good.
going for a little over an hour. It's been
Well,
great
thanks for
talking
having
to you, man.
Yeah, it's been great talking to you guys too. This was tons of fun.
Yeah, it's good catching up with you, Stellar. We haven't really. It's kind of been a while since you
Yeah, it's been a few
since we
weeks since
both,
we talked now.
left.
Totally.
Yeah.
Yeah, great chatting for sure.
Yeah, absolutely, dude.
Thanks again for
Um,
coming on.
Hey, thanks for having me, guys. This was great.
Do you have any things you want to plug at the end? Like, just let us know, like your social media or whatever, where to find your stuff, what to listen to, and whatnot.
Check out gratuitous_platypus on Instagram, or just go to gratuitousplatypus.com because that
Our
has
website.
like it's our website. It has a links to all of our socials and stuff. We're currently building a merch store and some more things to add to the
Oh, yeah.
website that are
They got
kind
some
of going
sick
to
shirts.
yeah,
Steve-
they're gonna
Steve, you gonna make patches for the website?
That depends on if they want them or not. I did make one custom one by myself, and I'm actually thinking about making a Your Disorder one too. Anyway, sorry,
Hell
Stella,
yeah.
continue.
Nice. That's awesome. But yeah, we're gonna kind of add more to that website subsequently with the release. You know, like the merch store and the online store and stuff like that through the site. But on our website, there's links to like our Twitch where we do live streams and all of our social media and stuff. So that's probably a great place to go if you want to find our stuff. Gratuitousplatypus.com.
Yeah, awesome. We'll throw
There you
that
go.
down in the description because I don't know how to spell gratuitous ever.
That's all good.
All right, yeah. So everybody, make sure you check those out and listen to Spider Snake on Spotify as well. That's a stellar original EP, I guess. And then
Yes.
Gratuitous Platypus, the 2 EPs, or not EPs, but albums whose names I will try to remember right now. I don't really like. What's that? They are EPs.
They're EPs. Yeah.
Okay, yeah. Well, there you go. I don't really like getting out of bed, and oh god, what's the other
on.
one? I can do this. I can do this. I can do this.
I believe in you.
Slightly foul and subtly empathetic, right?
There you go. Bingo.
Nice.
Yes. Hell yeah.
Nicely done.
There we go.
Right
Okay,
on.
great.
Yeah.
RJ, you want to wrap it up?
Yeah, sweet. Thank you everyone for listening. Thanks again to Steve for being my co-host and Stellar for joining us today.
Thank you.
Have a great night.
See you guys later.
See you around.